flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Taking a look at our agenda tonight, we have under scheduled business, we have an EOC update. Larry, do you have something for that?
Absolutely, no, I don't.
Okay. So,
I apologize, I didn't look at the agenda ahead of time.
yeah, that's cool. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I thought it, because we only have an hour for the meeting.
Well, also, less COVID-19 updates are probably a good thing.
Well, I know the numbers are going up,
I know, that's the only problem.
and Mass has just tightened down on restrictions. That's not good.
Yeah, so I guess we stay tuned. But what we can do next is we can move on to the budget list. So what I'm gonna do is, unless anybody has any objections, I'm gonna do based on order of appearance.
Sounds good to me.
So the library trustees are here, they came first. So we would welcome them to come up if you want to talk about your budget.
Can I take my mask off or no?
I think we're saying at the podium is
Yeah, you
okay.
can.
Okay. Okay, yeah, thanks. Kathy Meserve, Library Trustee. You should have a copy of the library proposal for the budget for 2021. The year-to-date expenses are as of last Friday, October 30th, so they're pretty up-to-date, but keep in mind that there's still 2 more months to the year, so these year-to-date expenses will change. The library was closed for 3.5 months this year, as was Town Hall. We reopened in July, and at the end of July, we began our curbside pickup for library books and materials, and we are now open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday for curbside pickup. We've found, looking at our statistics over the months, every month we're handing out more materials to the patrons, more patron orders, so we're reaching increasing amounts of people that way. We're offering some online programs. For children, we're offering a read aloud program on the library Facebook page. They do that every week. And then the staff, they make these library activity bags that correspond to the little book that was read online. And we hand those out from the front porch of the library too. Last month, we handed out 70 of those activity bags. So we thought that's pretty good at trying to reach families with young children as well. I guess that's where we're at this point. We trustees wanted to mention to you all that we are aware of the municipal budgeting laws for the state, and that we trustees believe this year we are going to have unexpended library appropriation money, and that we expect that we'll be returning some of that to the town at the end of the year. I can't commit to how much yet because we still have 2 more months to go, but we're sort of expecting that that will happen. So as far as the budget for 2021, on the second page is the bottom line, and the bottom line for the proposed 2021 budget is $132,391. That's an increase of $1,253, which comes out to 0.95 or 1%. And I can explain to you about the 1,253. Have to go back to the first page though, and starting with a combination of custodial supply line and the salary line. For this year, in 2020, custodial supplies was $2,850. That line we paid our cleaning person, and that we had budgeted $2,600 for paying the cleaning person and $250 for cleaning supplies, $2,850. Well, in the middle of the pandemic, the cleaning person decided not to clean anymore. So we had to find a different cleaning person, and that person is on the library staff who was willing to take that on as a separate position. So for the 2021 budget, because she's on staff, it comes out of salaries. So we took the $2,600 out of custodial supplies and put it up under salaries for the proposed 2021 budget. We also added an extra $300 in case this circumstance comes up again in the next year, and at least it would give us a little wiggle room to maybe negotiate if that position came open again. Meanwhile, under the custodial supplies, that $250 for cleaning supplies, we have spent over $1,000 this year thus far on cleaning supplies, because everything has to be super clean. And so, I mean, your usual cleaning stuff, bathroom stuff, hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, gloves, some of our masks have been in that, but all that has come out of there. And as you know, the prices on that are all going up. The quantity is getting less if you can find it. And so we, when we find it, we've had to buy it pretty much, within reason. So anyway, we've spent $1,000 on that this year already on cleaning supplies. So that's why we budgeted $1,000 for the 2021 budget, because, cleanliness, we have to do that for the safety of the patrons and the staff. So those are the increases on the first page. On the second page, there were 2 increases, each of $100 each. And the first was postage. We have a post office box, and the rental fee for that goes up every year, between $20 and $40 a year. They tell us the post office is in trouble. We're concerned that other fees are gonna go up from the post office too, so we increased it by $100. And the telephone is the last one, $100 increase. And we've watched our monthly fee just creeping up over the course of the year. And so we wanna be prepared. We have enough money in that line. So that's our budget.
I have one question for you. You mentioned that the person doing custodial is also a part-time library employee.
Yes.
The total hours between both positions weekly?
Hold on a minute, 12 hours a week.
Okay, then we're fine.
Yeah, yeah,
What she's alluding to is the rules about.
yeah, yeah.
We have to be careful because even though they're different positions, they're still one town employee, and we have to look at the total number of hours worked for the town.
Yep.
And to see what category of employee they become based on the number of hours worked. So I just wanted to make sure they were within that level. So, thank you.
I have a question. On your cleaning supplies, how much did you spend?
$1,000.
Why didn't you come to us and get it for free? I have
We've gotten a few things, but
20,000 of these, I just counted them. 20,000.
that would be wonderful. I think maybe we
And we have
weren't aware of that we could get that. I mean, that's for first responders.
No, I get it for all the buildings.
It was, at first it was, but then.
Right, now we have
Well, what else do you have besides masks?
masks, we have wipes, sanitizer, gloves, coveralls.
Well, we'll tell our director that. I
Just
mean, we-
email Trish a list, or email me a list,
Okay,
and we'll set it up. And if we don't have it, we'll try to get it.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
We weren't aware that we could get that.
Terry was on all the calls with us at the beginning of this whole thing, but then those calls, went away as we had less work.
Yeah.
And that was probably about the time that the masks and all that stuff started becoming more plentiful. But that's good, at least we're identifying it now.
And we do have 2 defoggers. We can defog your whole building.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So remember we hired at the beginning of
Yeah.
this thing
Yeah, it's like
for $400.
$400 a
Yeah.
pop, I think, yeah.
So now we have,
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll remember that.
All right, well, I will move to accept the library budget into the draft town budget for 2020.
Second.
Oh, go ahead. Check that.
By a hair. All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair is aye. So
Okay.
thank you for coming down tonight, we appreciate it. As you guys probably know from doing this before, we just accepted it as a draft, we'll see where it goes, but
Mhm.
typically you guys aren't the, you're not way up on.
Yeah. Well, we know.
Well, we appreciate you coming down and
Okay, thank you. And good luck tomorrow.
everything you do for the community over there. Thank you. All right, so, in keeping with our by arrival. Looks like recreation won second place.
They went second because they're the only one left?
I think Jim's working back.
Oh, my. Well, good evening. So our budget was, we didn't spend a lot of it because we spent like $5,434.29 so far because
Yeah,
a lot
so
of our
shoot us an
activities
email or
were
call us.
curtailed because of the virus.
Of course, yeah, no problem.
So really, we didn't have Old Home Day or trunk or treat, or any of those sorts of things. So we're asking for the same amount that we did last year. Hopefully, we'll be able to have those activities for the town next year.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Probably doing the stuff in the latter part of the.
All right. I move to accept the recreation proposed 2021 budget into the town draft budget.
Second, he's sleeping.
No, I was waiting for you, Larry, to be honest.
Can you be putting the dollar amount in? Did we do that on the others?
No.
No? Okay, all right, never mind. It's just, we want to make sure if we make changes, we work and what, you know.
Although we do it if we make changes. Like you're talking about changes on the spot, changes?
Yeah, no, like if we go back to it, we want to know where we've started and where, but that's all right. Diane, I'm sure will have it in your book, any changes.
All in paper.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Hold on,
Yeah, we haven't actually taken that vote yet.
just because I might vote against it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The umpire, when the guy thinks he's got a ball, so he starts walking to first. Anyway, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, that's unanimous, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
The planning board's not here tonight?
Yeah, he's here.
He's waiting. Are you ready? Come on, Jim.
Good evening.
Doug, how are you?
Good.
Rick.
So, we
Plan board.
have the rep, oh, sorry, whatever you did, rep, the planning board.
Yeah.
Dress warm tomorrow, right? It's gonna be cold out there. Got anything to share with us?
Actually, it's fairly simple. The original idea was that for the fourth or fifth year in a row, we were going to be coming in with a level budget. However, we received a word that the selectmen suggested that we engage a land use lawyer. And therefore, we did need to increase the legal line. It was recommended.
Did we ever work out those numbers with that land use attorney?
You need to speak up a little.
Did we ever work out the use of the land use attorney fees and hours? No? That-
I've got a call into her since last week.
Okay.
She's been rather busy.
Okay.
So can I ask a question about this line item? What about Board of Appeals? Because they may need that as well with, you know, if they have variances or things coming.
The
before
ZBA?
they- Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't talk to them, I talked to the planning board about it, I don't know if somebody did, I thought we were gonna use the same one.
That's what my thought was, and I was talking with the bookkeeper today, and we're wondering if maybe it shouldn't just go in the legal line rather than the planning board budget.
Yeah, if it's going to be used by more than one department,
That's what I'm thinking, because
then
Kim
it
was
would need to
saying,
come out of planning board and be put under general government.
Kim was saying it would be very hard to track if you've got it coming from different boards and if it's in one budget.
So here's all I would say to that, and Jim will get a chuckle out of this, because I'm the one every year who wants to combine the legal budgets.
right?
So that is kind of like, the planning board could decide if they want an attorney at every single meeting, right? So whatever it is, 26 meetings or,
Um,
So ZBA might decide, well, no, we don't want them that much, twice a year or whatever. So I'm wondering, would you be able to, allow for the one board not using them as much as the other one and still have it all come out in the wash?
Well, we could set up separate line items, so you have town council, which is for the Board of Selectmen, and have another line item for land use attorney. And if Jim's gonna get pricing, how many hours and how much per hour, we can stay within that budget. And I think Board of Appeals, myself personally, they need it probably as much as planning board needs it, when they've got a big developer in front of them.
I would hazard to say they probably need it more.
Yeah, depending on what's going on. And they only meet once a month. Jim's board meets twice a month. So.
Quite
just-
honestly, the planning board, when they were discussing this, decided against the idea of having a land use lawyer just sitting there through an entire meeting at, the one they chose is $220 an hour. To have somebody just sit there to witness a meeting the planning board didn't think that was a wise or prudent use of town funds. However, they need somebody that is capable of giving them land use specific information on things like applications that come in that are not quite perfect, how to handle things like that.
Yeah, for me, I don't know, I think it's one of those things where, the planning board can engage an attorney or not. It's up to them. ZBA, same thing, we, do it if we want or not. So then you get in that kind of situation. So I think we need to look at it more. But this, as far as the proposed draft budget, you think you have the numbers approximated enough based on the information you have?
With the increase of $10,000, that gives the planning board a large leeway in its use of legal counsel. As I said, the counsel they chose has a rate of $220 per billable hour, which was actually far on the low end of the spectrum.
It seems like, at least for the last 5 years, well, 4 years, you guys have been pretty consistent as to expending that budget for legal fees. So,
We have some years better than others.
I think what people need to understand is we're trying to avoid lawsuits by investing in this way. It's sort of preventative maintenance, if you will.
Yep.
Yep.
Somebody has an issue with upping it for that.
Well, other increases that you see are, we did increase the advertising budget. As you can see, we have severely overspent that. Simply the price of advertising has gone up, and anytime somebody submits a petition warrant article, the planning board gets to pay for the advertising. The same thing happened on the postage line has been increased. For the most part, there's actually a decrease. Dues and subscription went down by $30. Major increase was in the salary line, that went up 1,000. However, in a normal year, we would have between 5 and 6 applications. We've had 22 so far this year. That takes a lot more time to prep and what have you than 5 or 6. And they don't seem to be slowing down.
Just a quick question. So petition warrant article, and you guys do the advertising, what kind of advertising is that?
We're required to advertise it just like a public hearing.
Yep.
Just posting,
Legal notice in the newspaper.
like we're doing a mailer,
No.
something like that.
Depends on how many pieces of land that are affected by the warrant. If it's less than 100, we then have to send out a butter notices to everybody who owns a piece of affected land. That really, luckily, those can go out first class, but that, if you look under our postage, a lot of postage went out in January because we had the proposed petition warrant article, and we had to send out, I believe it was 97. We didn't hit the 100 cutoff mark, so I had to send out 97. Luckily, only first class, but at 55 cents each, it does add up.
I got one, and it's technically on the training, Jim. Is the training dropped off because of COVID-19, or aren't they taking training?
I'm sorry, Mr. Melvin, I'm hard of hearing to begin with.
Oh, okay.
Masks don't help.
I'll speak louder.
Please.
I'm talking about the training.
Training, yes.
You got $600. We spent year-to-date 95. Is that because of COVID-19? They're not
That's
going to training?
actually, you have to add another 210 to that 95 that was spent. We've actually spent 305 so far. Saturday was the New Hampshire Municipal Association Law Lecture Workshop, all rolled into one day. Because it was virtual, you didn't pay for anybody's travel expenses. The workshop was actually a little cheaper this year than in previous years, but we didn't get the handouts. We have to print those out ourselves. So the training will actually, it's usually fairly expended. This year, because of COVID, the spring training session didn't occur.
Okay, I don't have a problem with the $600.
Yeah.
Don't go there. I just wondered if people are going to training.
Oh,
Because I think
would I
they
like to
should.
make, I like to have everybody go? Yes. Can everybody make it on the specific days it's available? Regretfully not. But they do avail themselves, and they know when the training is coming up.
Okay.
So do we want to remove that 10,000, or do we want to wait?
Well, it's a draft,
So we can
so
remove it later?
either if we kind of put a little check mark next to it so that we know down the road here, we're gonna have to maybe just look at that.
Can I ask a question, just because I know my board chair is going to ask? Are you considering taking all of the legal fees and putting them in a sort of a town budget versus individual budgets? Because I was just gonna say, there are occasions where we will use a land use lawyer, but there are occasions when we would use the existing town council.
So I would say, somebody jump in here if what I'm saying is wrong. I believe it's all on the table
Okay,
for consideration.
yeah.
That's all it is right now.
Right.
Consideration. Is that?
Yeah.
I'd like to see just one legal budget, too.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, I don't think that they have too much of effect in either direction. It just, when you look at the bottom line, it'd be really nice to be able to say, yeah, the planning board budget went down by, not only did we take out the 10,000, but $4,000 additional. I just don't like to mislead people to not know that it's reappearing someplace else.
I would just like to say, if we do put it all into one budget, we need each department to break it down, when they spoke, how long they spoke, and what they spoke about, so we can, account.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of, we have to know what we're in for if we do it that way. And we have to talk to the right people because, it's gonna be a little more management.
Right, definitely.
So, to be honest with you, so far this year, the only reason council's been contacted was because of right-to-know issues. Just making sure that we were covering all of our bases, and
Yeah, right. All right, so if anybody wants to make a motion, we'll,
Make a motion to accept the planning board's 2021 budget as a draft for review.
Second.
moved by Charlie, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Kate was an aye, so we're all in favor. Thank you, Jim, for
thank you.
presenting. And we're moving on the list, I would say, what is it, building, we have a memo?
Yep, in your book as well.
Building and code. Okay, we'll read this for the folks at home, maybe?
Yep.
All right. So this is from the code enforcement inspector, building inspector. The 2021 proposed budget for the building safety department is reduced by $900. We like that donation. $900 compared to the 2020 budget for the following reasons. One is $400 have been set aside for 2020 office supplies. There were no office supplies purchased in 2020, therefore I recommend a reduction of $100. Number two, $500 had been set aside in 2020 for a telephone. There were no telephone expenses in 2020, nor are there any anticipated in the foreseeable future. I recommend discontinuing this line item, which would further reduce the budget by $500. And if I'm clear on that, it's telephone as in a
So.
cell phone, right? Not the landline.
Yep.
Number three, $400 had been set aside for training. The deputy inspector and I have our training funded by our full-time jobs. I recommend at least for the time being reducing the amount to zero, could leave the line item in place. The above recommended reductions total $1,000. I then increased the postage line from $52 to $152. There's that postage expenses again. As there was a shortfall during 2020, this presents a final budget reduction of $900. Please do not hesitate to contact me should there be any questions. Respectfully, Shanti Wolf. So, yeah, I think a lot of this is reflective of changes in the way we do business because of COVID-19 and also just technological things we've kind of upgraded on. Any questions? Not that anybody here could necessarily answer.
I can tell you why the postage was up, because now he's mailing out the permits to people, so that has, right, so that's why the postage has gone up. Yeah.
All right, I move to accept the 2021 proposed building budget into the town draft budget.
Second.
Larry, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How's everybody? All right, so Board of Appeals.
Doesn't look like they anticipate any legal fees.
That's why it's probably a good idea to keep a little asterisk next to this as we go along here, because I'm wondering if they even have time to fully consider it, as they don't meet that much.
Right, but they've spent nothing in legal fees this year either.
They are typically, looking at this list, they're typically not big legal fees. But otherwise, they're flat from last
Yeah.
year. not tonight by any means, but we need to find out if they are considering upping that legal line item to support, more involvement there. All right, anybody wanna?
I'll make a motion to accept the Board of Appeals 2021 budget as a draft for the overall budget.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That concludes our budget items for the evening. So, see, we have a tax abatement for map 14-1-7. Anybody want to do that on that? All right, I have tax abatement here for, map,
14-1-7.
14-7.
What? No,
14-1?
no, that's incorrect.
Oh.
You're talking tax map number?
Yeah, on the agenda, it says tax abatement, map 14-1-7.
Yeah, that's incorrect. It should be 12-220.
12, so tax abatement map 12-2-20.
Correct.
On the paperwork, it's correct.
Yeah, I think there was a boo-boo by the assessor, and I fixed it.
Yes. All right, anybody want a motion on this one yet?
That was my motion.
Oh, it was.
Well, you need the dollar amount.
Oh, I don't have that.
So the dollar amount is $2,231.32.
$2,231.32.
Second.
Okay.
Lisa wins. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think Kate's got a poor connection at the moment. There she is. All right, so now we're moving on to other business. Any other business we haven't touched upon? So,
Didn't you have something?
I don't know, did I?
Yeah, you said you were going to write it on your...
Oh, I forgot to write it down. What was it?
Sorry.
Oh, I know. No, I think I'm all set. We got an invoice for the playground equipment, and I did talk to Kim. Obviously, we were going to ask the board who's going to oversee that to make sure that everything is done before we pay. We're paying a half a payment right now. But I guess Kim talked to Mike today, and he said he'd keep her informed. So I think,
he'd be the guy, I'd say.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly, so.
And that's specific to, just in case anybody doesn't know, the playground company's actually the one putting the stuff together. Because, they basically showed up with the crates of stuff and started connecting everything and putting up where Mike's doing the foundational work, the concrete. And then, I think he said next week the wood chips are coming in, so he would obviously be able to, probably be able to tell if those guys didn't connect everything the right way.
Okay, that was what it was.
And so I'll just say announcements for those who don't know as of yet. The voting is tomorrow, 8 to 8 at 8 Merrimack Road, so it's all 8s. 8 to 8 Merrimack Road. Will be in the fire station this time, so it'll be a slightly different queuing up, but if you can drive there, somebody will be there to show you. So please don't forget. And we also have already an announcement about our current treasurer, whose position is up in March at the annual town meeting. And I think, is this a 3-year term?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a 3-year term. Our treasurer, who's done a great job, has decided not to run again. So we thank her for letting us all know early. So if you are interested at all, in finding out about this position, my advice, and I assume the board would agree with me, would be to reach out to the town treasurer and maybe have a conversation with her. I believe her email's on our website. She has her own page. And just find out, and then it'll be sometime at the end of January where you have to sign up. So last time it was a bit of a scramble. We're lucky we found Lynn when we did, but you know, just so everybody knows. And 35 South Main Street, the old fire station has been sold.
Yay,
So it's
yay.
official, so I'm sure everybody's applauding at home. It was a long process, but we're glad we were able to get that done, and hopefully the business that's there will be very happy.
Do you want to tell the folks how much you got for it?
That's what I was going to ask.
Do we want to do the drum roll, or do we just want to split it out?
You took an offer for 380,000. You, even, and after all the fees, the town received $357,200.
So I think that's pretty good for the town to have that coming back, so. All right, anybody want to do approval of the minutes?
Do we want to do the vendor manifests and things? They fell under the other.
Did I skip them?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's do those.
All right, I move to sign vendor manifest dated November 2nd, 2020 in the amount of $1,233,319.11, of which $1,138,819 goes towards the November Sanborn Regional School District payment.
Second.
Okay, got it.
Katie got it.
Kate won.
Katie got it.
All right, Kate won. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to sign vendor manifest dated November 2nd, 2020, in the amount of $25,000. Said amount to come from the 2020 town warrant, Article Number 25, for partial payment for Greenie Park Playground equipment renovations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
By the way, before we do that one, Mike, I'm sure your ears were ringing, but we said that when I forget the name of the company, the playground, et cetera, or whatever the company that built the stuff is, you would be able to give us an indication when you thought they were done and able to be paid in terms of, okay, because we signed you up for that, so.
All right, I move to sign Recreation Revolving Fund vendor manifest dated November 2nd, 2020, in the amount of $16,942 for partial payment for Greenie Park Playground equipment renovations. The remaining balance, $15,000, to be paid upon completion of the project.
Second. Oh,
All right. So Charlie was the second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. I move to sign cable vendor manifest dated November 2nd, 2020, in the amount of $4,707.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. I'd also announce that the board signed payroll manifest for pay period October 11 through 24, 2020, with a pay date of October 29, 2020.
Second.
Not a motion, just an announcement. However, I will move to appoint Valerie Remus as an inspector of elections, term to expire at midnight, November 3rd, 2020.
If they're done by,
Yeah,
somebody done
that's a good point.
So let me rephrase. Why don't we say to expire midnight, November 4th, 2020?
Because you would end up having to go to Mary Jo and tell her that, and she would have to change all those documentations that you're running.
All
that you
right,
have to sign.
but then she would have to send them all home at midnight?
Hmm?
No, I believe it's just in terms of signing stuff, so I think we're probably
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna be ejected from the.
In other words, they're only needed for the election once the election's done. Yeah,
All right, fair enough. So my motion
the third?
stands.
To the
delete
third?
it.
The initial motion
Okay.
stands.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Larry seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move to appoint Meredith White as an Inspector of Elections, term to expire at midnight, November 3rd, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move to appoint Alicia Glenn as an Inspector of Elections, term to expire at midnight, November 3rd, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move to appoint William Landry as an Inspector of Elections, term to expire at midnight, November 3rd, 2020.
Second.
And aye. And I will apologize if I butcher the name,
Marika.
but
Yeah.
you could have given me a
Oh,
shot.
well, I just didn't thought, I knew it, so I was good.
I move to appoint Marika Brick as an Inspector of Elections, term to expire at midnight, November 3rd, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we thank all of those folks and the others for what they're gonna do for us tomorrow.
Yes, and that is all of them.
That's all of that, so anybody wanna go do the approval of minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the Selectmen's non-public and public meeting minutes dated October 20, 2020 as written.
Second.
All right. We'll give it to Kate. All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to accept Selectmen's non-public and public meeting minutes dated October 27, 2020 as written.
Second.
Lisa, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody have any non-public sessions that they wanna unseal?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, so, any other public business?
Matt, I've got one. I'd like to thank the road agent for the railroad sign over in the junction. It's all in place.
All right, if there's nothing for the public, I'm gonna tell the folks at home now that we're probably gonna go into non-public here as soon as we get a motion, but this will be the end of the video portion of the night. Again, 8 to 8 tomorrow morning, is voting at 8 Town Road. Please be patient with everyone, and work hard to put this together. Lisa, would you make that motion?
I would, but I didn't. Okay, I move to go into non-public session under RSA 91-A:3, Section 2, subsection A, compensation, at 6:44 PM.
Compensation?
What?
You said compensation?
Compensation, yeah, that's A.
It's really, I would suggest the reputation of this.
Yeah, I think it's reputation. That's an old one, I'm sorry, that's an old agenda that was out there.
All right, so I change, I accept
Sorry.
C.
the amendment
Yes, thank you.
to BC reputation.
I apologize, I should have deleted the non-public.
This is a roll call vote.
Aye.
Larry's an aye, Charlie,
Aye.
Matt's an aye, Lisa.
Aye.
Yes, please, thank you. You can go home.
Did everybody else sign it?
I think I signed all the minutes, there's someone there too.
Yep, get it hooked up.